What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the one, the only, the Fragrance Fraternity. Hope you're all doing well. Smelling good. Got to thank God for another day to smell good out here, wearing some nice fragrances. Let me know your scent of the day. Go ahead and drop it in the chat. I got some music going in the background today. Let me know what the volume balance is like because I can't really tell. Is it too loud? Do you guys like it? Do you want me to turn it off? What do you guys prefer? Figured I'd leave it up to the audience, but I got that like rock soundtrack going on in the background today. Just give it a little bit of ambiance, maybe make it a little bit better of a stream. Let me know what you guys prefer, music or no music, and how's the volume on it. Go ahead, drop your scent of the day. Don't remember if I said that already. Today I'm wearing right here. This is Summer Vibes 4.0. Thanks to Vince Sense. He sent this over to me so I could get my nose on it. It was very kind of him. And this is basically a pineapple bomb. Really tropical type of a smell going on here. Doesn't smell too feminine or like a man couldn't wear it at all. But it is fruity, fun, and fresh for the summer. The name says it perfectly. This is definitely a summer vibe. It kind of reminds me of Boss Bottle Pacific if you remove that coconut kind of creaminess to it. If you were just left with the sweetness of the fruits, that's pretty much what you're going to get here in Summer Vibes. I was able to pick this little puppy up on their Labor Day sale. It was like 33 bucks for this 50 ml. I believe this is an X-Straight as well. Lasts a long time for me, and I got a really great sillage going on this morning when I was wearing this. I was really enjoying it. It was one of my first times wearing it, so it was a really fun fragrance and didn't cost too much, so I'm enjoying that one. Let me get caught up in the chat with you guys. See what you're wearing, and we'll get into smelling some Valentino fragrances that my man Patrick was kind enough to send over. We have one Dua, which is a clone of a discontinued Gucci fragrance. So a couple of fun fragrances to just check out. Maybe you guys have smelled them before, like to know your takes. And then I have some other fragrances that I've just been enjoying and a couple of fall kind of picks that are close to the time of year. Kevin, what's up, my man? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you in the chat again from Lakeland, Florida. All right. I hope it's not too hot over there for you. Joel is in the chat. What is going on, my man? Always a pleasure to see you here at the fraternity wearing Molinard Gingembre, basically Niche Dior cologne, and a great fragrance. I really like that one. Thank you for putting us on to that one, Joel. And thanks for being here, my man. Dan, the man, don't let his username fool you, is here wearing Ghost in the Shell from Etat Libre d'Orange. I've heard great things about that one. Haven't tried it yet. But if I know you, Dan, you're smelling amazing. Always coming in with exquisite taste. So well done, sir, yet again. All genre bops in the building. Thanks for being here, my guy. Wearing Rue Broca Theorem, the Tygar clone. A little bit fresher than Tarathi Blue from what I understand, but a solid alternative. Thanks for being here. You're smelling great. I did another interview. This time it's with the Parker Street Ministries in Lakeland, Florida. Well, I hope you get the job, my man. The video is now on YouTube under Parker Street Ministries. Okay, I'll have to check that out next time and get to know you a little bit better and see what you're doing over there in Lakeland. Joel saying, what up? Patrick, what's going on, my man? Hope you had an okay day at work. Hope you're ready to get into some fragrance chat here this afternoon live. Scent of the day, Alexandra's Ferocity. Glad you're enjoying that sample. Guys, if you want the best take on the closest thing to vintage fierce, Alexandra's Ferocity is the way to go. It's really incredible. It's like a time machine. Great performance. It's not super watered down like Fierce is right now, and it's a huge compliment monster. It really is. It always has been. Scent of the day for Jay is Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette. And at night, he's going to be wearing Infrared, the Eau de Toilette. Two great Eau de Toilette fragrances there. Thanks for being here, Jay. Hope you're doing well. And it's nice to have you at the fraternity that speaks about fragrance. Everybody is saying, what up? Jay, have you copped the new Eros Energy yet? Now, is that J as in Celtics J? Or is this a different J? I think it may be a different J, because as we know, my Celtics is actually aka King Eros, but this may be a different J. I like the music, maybe a touch more quiet when you get into your topics. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just use it for this intro bit and then probably turn it off when we get into the actual stuff, or maybe lower it a bit. Gion is here wearing aforementioned Tarathi blue. Thanks for being here, my guy. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping the cent of the day. Everyone's saying it's something like Arrow, so I'm going to wait till it comes down a bit. Speaking about the new energy, I believe Aventus is what people are mostly relating it to. So, more Aventus. Mr. Gumbo, aka Hot Grease, is here. Thanks for being here, my guy. Let us know what you're wearing. I appreciate it. Saying what up to Joel and everyone. Thanks for being here. The do I sent you is called Man Card VIP. Yep, that's one of the ones that we're going to be smelling. That is one of them. Scent of the day, Manhattan City Rhythm, also from Authenticity, I believe. Oh no, that one is from City Rhythms. City Rhythms, different brand. Oh, it is Jay. Okay, it is Celtics. It's the same guy. So you had a little profile picture change. Okay, cool. Well, it's nice to put a face to a name for once. So thanks for being here, my guy. That OG Fierce NA always makes me think of a jacked and ripped summer camp counselor that successfully flirts with all the girls at the camp. Oh gosh. Well, hopefully it's not a kid's summer camp because that would be pretty strange. I'll take the jacked and ripped part. I like that because, you know, even though I'm not, I can at least smell like I am. So I'll take that part. Don't know about the second half of that sentence, but we'll just move on. How about that? All right. All right, let me kill the music here and we'll get into sniffing some of these. I kind of like it, so I'm just going to like bring it really low. You probably can't even hear it, but anyway. All right, so let's dive into these little sniffs. You know, I typically don't do first impressions on camera because if you really think about it, there's not a whole lot of value unless you're, you know, a very experienced reviewer, which I definitely don't consider myself one of the most experienced. It's really just entertainment value, but we'll see. I'm going to be put to the test today. We'll see if I have the confidence to start calling out notes or anything like that, or just going to give you raw thoughts. Could be a train wreck, could work out well. Only one way to find out. All right, this is the first one. Valentino, born in Roma, green extravaganza. Let me give you a little bit of background about kind of why I'm smelling these Valentinos. So I kind of been a bit of a Valentino hater. I'll admit that. And mainly due to their bottle styles, that whole studded look, I have gone on camera saying that it reminds me of goth, like a goth look from like emo kids when I was in middle school or something like that. And their naming conventions kind of throw me off. You know, they're super long names. Like this one, Valentino, born in Roma, green extravaganza. Like, who decides to name a fragrance that, right? Just a crazy name. But all those things aside, we're going to smell the only thing that matters, the actual fragrance and how it smells. So let's go. Going into green extravaganza. Have you guys smelled green extravaganza? Let me know what you think about it. I know that this is relatively new. I think it came out last year. All right, let's check out Born in Roma, green extravaganza. Okay, well, it was kind of sweet in the air. It was the first thing that I got from it. I'm going to spray a little bit more. I might have to ditch these test strips altogether if it doesn't really do it for me. Okay, kind of sweet, fresh. There's also maybe there's something kind of like chocolatey or kind of sweet to it as well. I think it's good, but it's not like super captivating me on the first kind of sniff. It does smell pretty typical designery, maybe like a tonka bean type slight sweetness coming in. Yeah, I mean it's cool. I like it. Doesn't smell bad. I do get some kind of like a chocolatey type sweetness to it. Not super green as I thought. I think I'm just gonna end up trying these on skin, and we're gonna just do that because there's only a few fragrances, and if I'm gonna go on record here, might as well try them on skin. So. Yeah, there's like a cleanliness to this, but there's also kind of some kind of like chocolatiness and kind of like a bit of a candied sweetness all going on as well. It's got a nice blend, but I do get something that does resemble a cappuccino or a latte, something like that, maybe a little bit milky. Yeah, this is actually nice. I like it on the skin a lot more. The test strips are useless, guys. Seriously, it's like a much better fragrance off my skin. I shouldn't even waste my time with that. Yeah, I get like a little bit of a fresh coffee fragrance, so it's actually pretty nice. I'm enjoying it. I don't really understand. I don't know if coffee's in it or not. That's just what I'm getting, but green extravaganza doesn't really match what I'm smelling here. But yeah, like a fresh coffee type sweetness, pretty chill. It's like a little latte. I enjoy it. I don't know if it's full bottle worthy for me just off the initial spray. Just because coffee fragrances, I'm a little bit more selective. I'm really hooked on Latte Cita de Cafe. And if I was to pick up another coffee fragrance, it would probably be Amor Cafe by Mancera. So let's see what you guys think about Green Extravaganza if you smelled it. Some of the scents can change your opinion on the brand. Name can be a little strange, but I enjoy some of the Born in Roma flankers. Valentino makes mouth appealing. Yellow Dream is my favorite. So he sent me Born in Roma Intense, Green Extravaganza. I think that's it. I've tried one other Valentino, which is the original Uomo, which I actually really enjoy. My brother wears that fragrance. It's a gourmand type fragrance. It's got like a chocolatey sweetness to it, maybe a bit of iris too. Don't remember all the notes exactly, but I do enjoy that one. Just kind of weak on the performance, unfortunately, but came out a while ago. It's kind of like a old OG fragrance at this point. Yeah, you like those bottles? That's funny. Different taste for different people, I guess. That's funny. Most of the time on Tuesday, I go out eating at restaurants. Other days, because of work. But I always try to come see my Fragcom family, and we know it, Joel, and we appreciate you being here. You definitely, you're always good with me, my guy. You've put me on to so many good fragrances, and you are like the moderator of everyone's channel because we all got love for you, my man. I get like a sweet bergamot candy, it dries down in clean vitter. Do you get like a light coffee shop aroma? Yeah, I do get. It's kind of changing a little bit. It's coming more of like a tonka bean type sweetness now, but in the initial blast, the thing that came to my mind was like a very light coffee, milky latte type smell. But yeah, it's becoming more type like typical designer tonka bean type sweet. There's maybe something a little bit woody in here as well. It's definitely a masculine fragrance, so I think there's some woods that are adding to the masculine presence of the overall fragrance, which is pretty typical. It's cool. You know, I'd have to really wear it and wear it around and get the sillage to really make a good decision on it. But from what I'm getting right now, I think I like it, but I don't. It's not blowing me away. It's not really moving me. It's not really too memorable for what I'm getting right now. But I think if you wore this, I think you'd be good. I mean, it's a solid little designer fragrance. It's just not anything super different or super daring or all that interesting to my nose, at least. But that's just what I get from it. Okay, so there is a bit of a coffee shop vibe that you get. Yeah, green is deceiving. Yeah, I don't really get much green in it at all. Is really the main thing that's kind of throwing me off about it. I mean, there may be some aromatic type things which they're considering green, but not even all aromatics are green necessarily. Yeah, it's like my inoffensive work scent for running around when I want to smell good but don't want to project announce my frank to everyone 10 feet away. Yeah, and I think it's really good for that. I think that's a really perfect situation to use this in when you just want something that smells good, but you don't want to necessarily wear something challenging or something that stands out. There's definitely a somewhat professionalism to this fragrance. I think it's one that can be good in a lot of different situations, but not necessarily excelling at any one thing particularly. But I think it's nice. I mean, if someone caught this in the air, they would probably enjoy it. It has a modern smell to it. It doesn't smell outdated. It definitely has like that modern tonka bean type of nuance sweetness going on, which I enjoy. I think you'll like the Born in Rome Intense a little more. It's a little more attention grabbing. It has more nuances. All right, cool. Well, yeah, let's try that one next. So this is I believe from Scent Split. I think that's kind of how these labels usually look from there. It says Valentino, born in Roma, intense, courtesy of Patrick. Seems like he quite enjoyed this one because he got some good testing out of it before sending it my way. But thankfully, there's just enough left that I can give myself some good sprays here and see what's going on with Born in Roma Intense. Really doused my arm right there. Okay, let's see. All right, I can tell you right off the bat that I like this one a lot more. Yeah, this one has more going on, and I'm kind of blanking on initially exactly what, but let me try to analyze. All right, yeah. So there's more woods going on here. There's more of like a somewhat earthiness and a woodiness present here that I really like, and there's more spices here as well compared to the other one. This one has more character to it. It is more of an evening time fragrance that I'm picking up. Definitely more of a fall and winter time fragrance without being overloaded with vanilla or anything like that. I think it still has that tonka bean in the base because it still has that modern type of tonka bean sweetness and underlying it, kind of like the green extravaganza did. And it has just enough sweetness. It's kind of like a sugary type sweetness that I'm getting here, but it's certainly not a sweet fragrance. It's just balanced really well with the woods, the spices, and touch of sweetness. There's also probably a note here that is not as typical, something that's a little bit different than what's typically used, which I'm probably gonna have a hard time calling out. But whatever that note is, I can look it up here in a sec, is really adding to the interest and nuance and kind of setting it apart from other stuff that I've smelled. I mean, I do get maybe a hint of an Invictus vibe somewhere hanging out there. I don't know. I really don't know much about these fragrances, and I didn't want to look anything up to throw myself off. I wanted to give you guys an honest first thoughts, and if I embarrass myself and say all the wrong stuff, then so be it. I don't really care. I mean, you guys are cool. You probably will forgive me for it, but yeah, I like this one. It's definitely more interesting. Patrick, let me know what's in this one that's kind of giving it that sweet sort of cake-ish nuance and that difference that I'm getting. It's definitely got more spice and woods, which I'm really appreciating. And yeah, I like it. I like this one. This is definitely the winner so far. Have you guys tried Born in Roma Intense? What's the lowdown on it? What do you guys get from it? Those who have experience with it, I'd love to know what you think. Maybe I can pick up some more things as you guys mentioned what's in it. Cedrat Essence. Okay, that is the Cedrat Base clone, I believe. Thanks for being here, Todd, and appreciate you, my guy. I think I read that one already. I think you like Born in Rome Intense a little bit more. Yeah, so that's where I was. All right, Joel saying, I'm thinking about grabbing soon Electimus Oster, Game of Spades wild card, Lafayette Street clone, and 3 10 mls of some Savoir Faire fragrances. Just waiting for more money to come in. Aren't we all, my guy? Aren't we all? But all in good time, my guy. And when they do come in, may you wear them in good health. Let's see. Does anybody have experience with Born in Roma Intense besides Patrick? I get like a bubblegummy lavender. Yeah, okay, that's kind of where the Invictus tie-in is probably, and a sweet vanilla in the Intense. Apparently it has ginger in the top. As it dries down, you get some vetiver and woods. Yeah, I mean, I get the woods and I guess the vetiver right away. And definitely pick up on that kind of bubblegummy thing that I mentioned. That's kind of where the sweetness is coming from. It's like a little splash of Invictus, but it's like not super synthetic and super bubblegum centered. It's just more of a nuance and kind of a characteristic of this fragrance. It's woven in there very, very nicely. Certainly see this as more of an evening time fragrance than a daytime wear. It is kind of an addicting scent. I could really see some people really loving this. The only drawback that I'm just getting from it is when you're comparing it to things like Le Male Le Parfum and just some of these really heavy, like La Nuit de l'Homme, just some of these really heavy hitting evening time scents, Armani Code Parfum that I love to wear. I don't know how often I would pick this fragrance over them. I think this fragrance has really good use for people that like to wear kind of inoffensive stuff that's mass appealing, that may get compliments, that isn't overly challenging, but has some touch of sweetness without being too youthful. It definitely is doing a lot of things well. I just don't know if it's doing it better than some of the really heavy fall hitters that I love. But I like the overall amount of sweetness that they have without it being too cloying. I think it's blended really well. I think the blend on Born in Roma Intense is done really, really well. And I could see this fragrance being one that really grows on me after I give it some more wear. So I'm definitely enjoying this one. Thanks for sending this over, Patrick. Yeah, definitely get some spice and just the right amount of sweetness, just the right amount. I get the woods. It certainly smells masculine. I think this can be worn by a wide age group. Doesn't smell too youthful, but has enough, I guess, sweetness to, I guess, give it a little bit of intrigue and to catch your nose in the air. A lot of times when there's a touch of sweetness, that's really what compels that kind of head turning factor, because you can really pick up that sweetness in the air really nice from a variety of fragrances. The sweetness is from the vanilla, I think. Okay, yeah. Um, Vanilla is that the note that they're using? Okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, it is good. It is good. I like it a lot more than the green extravaganza, that's for sure. It's hard to stack up with the Molly Parfum La Nuit Alone for going out, but I guess it just brings more youthful playfulness with the sweet opening. Yeah, it's kind of like Invictus Parfum, but more woody and a little bit more vanilla and not as sweet and not as bubblegum playful, but a little hint of that. It's like a more mature version of that in a way. That's just off my first impression. The only Valentino I got is the OG Woma with the spike collar one. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about that my brother has, and I really like that one. It's kind of like chocolatey. It's kind of gourmand, uh, kind of weak on the performance, but the overall smells really good. I think it came out in the 90s or early 2000s. Kind of an older fragrance, but kind of slept on these days. Still really good though. Okay, let's see. Is that all the Valentinos that I had over here? I think so. Yep, those were the two Valentinos. So of the two, definitely favoring Born in Roma Intense. All right, so the next fragrance that I'm going to check out is this Gucci Pour Homme 2. Gucci Pour Homme 2. Were you guys around in the community when this fragrance came out? Do you have any experience with the real deal? If you do, let me know. And I tried this one once briefly before hopping in the shower. Um, and I remember it being very different than anything I've tried. So I'm kind of excited to smell this one again. I'm going right on top of the hand with this one. All right, let's check it out. This is Dua's version of Gucci Pour Homme 2. All right, so in the air, it's kind of powdery, which I like. I like powdery fragrances. I know Patrick does not like powdery as much as I do. Ooh, okay. I think there's fig in this. All right, I'm digging this. I'm really digging this. This has either like a fig or a tea type vibe to it. This is certainly more green than green extravaganza. There's some really nice type, um, maybe lemony freshness or some kind of like ozonic quality here. I dig this though. I really dig this. It's reminding me of a tea fragrance or like a fig fragrance. It's kind of reminding me of Shanjan 3 a.m. in a little bit of a way, but fresher and not as, I guess, not as fig dominant. I don't even know if there's fig in here. I mean, I might be completely embarrassing myself, but it has something a little bit different than what you would typically smell. Maybe like a lemon verbena type thing. Patrick, let me know what's in Gucci Pour Homme 2. I'm digging that one. This is certainly more of a daytime wear. You could wear this to the office. I think this is more of a casual fragrance. Doesn't smell super dressed up to me, but definitely more of a like a springtime wear is where I would see this falling. I really love the greens, and I think that's fig. I mean, I think it is. I'm not sure if it is, but that's what it smells like to me. I dig this. This is the one that I would probably see myself picking up out of all of these, just because I think it's the most kind of unique and interesting. And I'm a big fan of fig fragrances, especially when it's done right. I think fig fragrances are, in and of themselves, a very, very interesting note to use and give a certain kind of mysterious type nature to a fragrance, but it's also a note that works well in a fresh fragrance. So it's cool to have a fresh fragrance with some variety, with some nuance and interest, because a lot of the fresh fragrances can really start to blend all together. So fig is a note that you can really use to add some interest, which I really enjoy. All right, let's keep it going here. Always losing my place in the chat. That's one thing I'm good for. Vince, what's up, my guy? Hope you're doing well. If you want to hop in the chat, if you want to hop in the live stream, if you have experience with some Valentino or whatever, I just know I owe you an appearance because we tried once and it didn't work out so well. So if you're free and you are willing, I'd love to drop you the link. And actually, anybody else who wants to hop on, this is more of a casual stream today. If you want to join the conversation, be on screen and whatnot, I'd love to have you here. Doesn't always need to be me all the time. Happy to bring on some people. They're you guys have a good sense of humor and probably funnier than me most of the time. I mean, I'm not that funny. I have my moments, but most of the time, maybe wasn't born to be on TV type of thing. All right, I don't know where I'm going with that. Very unique scent, tea/tobacco. All right, so I was good. I was right with the tea. With some green freshness. It's a very cozy scent profile. It has some sophistication. Yeah, it certainly does. And that's kind of what I like about it. I mean, it's classy. It's classy. It's fresh. It's a little watery. And it has that green tea type freshness going on, which what I was calling fig, which I guess it's not, but definitely that green tea vibe. It doesn't smell like Oolong Cha, but I could imagine that the wearing experience would be a similar wearing experience with this Gucci Pour Homme 2 and Oolong Cha. Oolong Cha, I think, has a lot more of citrus dominance, but that green tea aspect of it, I'm finding here, and that's really what I'm enjoying about it as well. And this smells certainly more masculine than Oolong Cha, which is a very unisex fragrance to my nose. Gosh, this is great, man. I love tea fragrances. I don't know if you guys know this, but tea fragrances are like a kryptonite to me. I absolutely love them. It was a tea fragrance that got me back into fragrances after almost probably a decade of not really being interested in fragrances. I smelled Bulgari's Pour Homme in a club, and I was so blown away by it, not even knowing that it was an older fragrance. And it was like, it sparked something in me. I was like, why did I ever stop wearing fragrance and being into this? I was always into this as a kid, and I just kind of, didn't really think about it until I smelled Bulgari Pour Homme, which got me back into it. I was like, wow, fragrance is amazing. I can't believe I ever stopped wearing and enjoying them. I need to get back into that. Lalique Linsoumise. Okay, I've heard excellent things about that one. And as far as I understand, Lalique overall is just a brand that provides a lot of quality for a good price. So good to see, Giancarlo. You're smelling great today. Thanks for being here, my guy. Violet leaf. Okay, so that violet leaf is what's giving that kind of ozonic brightness. And I love when a good violet leaf I love when a violet leaf is used the right way, man. It can be so perfect. Some of my favorite fragrances have violet leaf, like Mancera Black Gold has violet leaf. Um, yeah, now that you say violet leaf, I certainly get, because whenever you use that violet leaf, it gives it this certain pop and this sparkle, this effervescence, which I really love. Um, really makes a fragrance for me. Black tea, cinnamon, pimento. Okay. Base, myrrh, tobacco leaf, olive wood, and musk. Okay, cool. Yeah, so it's that tea, I guess, olive wood combo that I was thinking kind of smelled like a fig. So, um, yeah, I love it though. Man, this is great. It's great, and the quality is good. You know, some duas I struggle with the quality, and then there's some which I feel like they're using. Maybe they have different lines because I know some of them are like in that $30 range, and then they have other fragrances that are like in that $60+ range. So I think they have different quality ingredients depending on which tier that people are purchasing from. And this to me smells like it's in that higher tier. Doesn't smell harsh or too alcohol-y or like it's not blended well or anything like that. So I'm really enjoying it. Thanks for sending that, Patrick. Got a new one on my radar. You know, another tea fragrance. I don't know if you guys saw Fragrance By announced that they have this Envy of FOMO that's supposedly cloning. Is it the same fragrance that they're cloning, Gucci Pour Homme 2? I know that it was a tea-based fragrance that they're cloning. So if for nothing, that was something that caught my interest, just knowing it was a tea-based fragrance. But do you guys know about that new FOMO? And is it cloning this Gucci Pour Homme 2? That's just kind of a side note. We're talking about tea fragrances, so it made me think of that. But I have the Gary's Den Le Parfum from them, which is excellent. I heard that the Elysium, the Frag Heads of Silent, I heard that one is so. But the Gary's Den Le Parfum, Dior Homme Parfum, is phenomenal. Really, like, better than I expected. It's all good, man. I'm more annoying than funny. Always been that way. Well, you're good at um, like kind of trolling, but trolling with love, if that's possible. Like you're giving people shit, but we know that you're doing it, and it's never like too far. It's like the perfect amount of like needling, which we can all find funny. So, I appreciate you, Jay. You keep us honest, and we need some people like you to keep us honest. And I personally have Vince to keep me honest. Once I start bragging too much and acting all bougie, he's thankfully here to humble me and bring me back down to reality and keep me in check. So we all need that person to come regulate when we're getting out of hand, man. So their take on Gucci. Oh, it's Gucci Envy. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up. But as I understand, that's also tea-based fragrance. Wow. I'm smelling that Gucci Pour Homme 2 in the air. It's really nice, man. Oh, I love it. I love it. I'm really loving it. It's my favorite one so far. Yeah, go figure. Neither of the Valentinos I liked as much as the Dua. That's kind of funny. Oh yeah, because you know I love Gris Charnel, and it's got that black tea, and I'm kind of getting that same black tea vibe here. I love a good tea-based fragrance, man. God, this is good. This may be full bottle worthy. Oh man, I love that. How many bottles do you own? So I've been afraid to count, but for some reason before this stream, so quick, you know, I always like to give long explanations of very short answers, right? But that's how you keep the stream going, I guess. So Dedrick did a live stream where he talked about how he gave away a good amount of his fragrances, and it was a really good story. If nobody saw that, I think it was on his 20K sub giveaway live stream. He went into a pretty moving story about how he was working with like a young man who you really didn't have any extra cash to buy any fragrances, and Dedrick basically looked at his fragrance collection and was like, yo, I have an abundance. Like, I'm just going to give this guy a couple. And it really made a big impression on him. So kind of following up on his actions, it inspired me to, I've already been thinking about kind of downsizing, but I gave away a good amount of bottles, and it's mostly just cheaper stuff that you guys probably wouldn't be interested in. Otherwise, I'd be doing it as a giveaway on the channel. But I will be doing some giveaways as well here. But if I had to estimate right now, I think I'm in like the 150 to 160 range. Don't know exactly for sure, but I'm looking to continue to come down. So it's kind of like I've always justified having a bigger collection because I was making fragrance content, right? But that doesn't necessarily need to be the case. I don't necessarily need to have all these fragrances just because I'm making content. I'd rather have the fragrances that I truly love, that I truly have a passion for, and rather tell you guys about that than some that I think are just okay or whatever. So I'd like to whittle it down a little bit. I have basically there's 4 tiers. I have like I don't know what you'd call this piece of furniture, but it's like a multi-tiered shelving type shelving bookshelf with 4 tiers basically. And I'm allowing myself that room. Once I fill up in that room and I'm overflowing, I got to get rid of something. So I think that's a good method for me. I mean, it's still an abhorrent, insane, unnormal amount of fragrances that fit into this tower, but at least that way I can give myself some parameters of stopping. So yeah, it's really so easy to keep spending. I mean, it's like a dopamine rush, it's just another vice, and really discipline comes in play here. But everyone's financial situation is different, so that's also it's very personal. The whole journey is really personal. Just try to enjoy it and don't ever put too much stress on yourself. It sucks if you overspend, you can't enjoy your fragrance. And yeah, I'm not going to be preaching on you guys too much. You guys know all that, but just a little bit of background, kind of where my headspace has been at, and like the fragrance amount that I own and why, and what I'm thinking about it. Duo has some in the $100 price point. Depends on the cost of Vince's ingredients. Okay. Yeah, because I really notice a variety of quality with some of them tried. Some of them I tried, I'm like, this is pretty bad quality, and some of them like blown away with. Another good one that Patrick sent over was it was a fusion of L'Immensité and Acqua di Gio Essenza. Man of Essence. Patrick, what was the name of that one? I think it was called Man of Essence. That one was really good. And surprisingly, that L'Immensité and Acqua di Gio DNA blends pretty well. It was really enjoyable. I enjoy that one. Teetering the line of being a good troll. Yeah. He's a good troll. Happy to keep your pride in check. Oh, I know you are, my guy. I know. But that's why I love you, man. That's why I like having you here. Yeah, by the way, if you guys don't follow Vince Sense, this guy has arguably the most underrated channel. Like, beautiful backgrounds. He's bringing you new fragrances all the time. He's really solid with his knowledge too. Like, it's been awesome to see his evolution in his fragrance knowledge, the way he describes them, and the passion is there. This is a guy that does it just for the passion. A lot of the talk right now is about our influencers paid, or questioning their authenticity about certain things. With a guy like Vince, you're getting exactly what you're seeing. No ulterior motives, just love of the game. So check him out. He's a good dude and got good content as well. Do you like Man Card VIP more than Essence of Citrus Water, the other duo? Yeah, I do like this Man Card VIP more. Just because the other one, it was like L'Immensité in the opening, and then after that it was mainly Acqua di Gio Essenza. And I find this one a little bit more interesting. I mean, I have variations of Acqua di Gio. I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. You don't really need more than one L'Immensité inspired fragrance. I have John Lowe Immortal. I'm very happy with that. So I don't really see the need to like fuse those two DNAs. I think it works when you do, but I would think that it'd be probably better off just to wear them each separately versus having to fuse them. But this what is it called? Man Card VIP? Is that what this Gucci Pour Homme 2 duo is called? I mean, I'm a sucker for a really good tea-based fragrance, and that's what this is, and that's basically why it's doing it for me. You nail it on a tea-based fragrance, chances are it's going to blow me away. And I like this a lot more. I think it's got a lot more originality. I know it's technically a clone, but the clones that are cloning discontinued fragrances are the best clones, because you cannot even get these fragrances unless you're going to pay $300 or whatever. So they're offering a lot of value. So I really enjoy, specifically when clones are cloning discontinued designer fragrances that are hard to get. I think that's some of the best times to go with a clone. Jason, what is up, my man? Hope you're doing well. Hope you closed a bunch of real estate deals today and made a fat commission so you can go buy some more great fragrances. If you guys do not already, check out Sips and Sniffs podcast. They have some very, very entertaining stuff going on over there. I only asked you once since you said you stopped wearing frags and then got back into them. So I was just wondering. Yeah, that was actually before I even got into watching fragrance videos or even making content. That was around the time when I was in college. I kind of forgot about fragrances, and then on my 21st birthday ish, I was in Vegas, and in the bathroom they have those colognes that you can just use, and for whatever reason, that Bulgari's Pour Homme, that bottle really drew me in, and I wanted to see what it smelled like. I'd never smelled a Bulgari fragrance before, or Bulgari, however you say it, and it like really moved me. So before that, I was really just wearing 1 Million cologne, Mont Blanc Legend, and after I smelled that Bulgari, I bought that, and then later on I bought a Bulgari Man Wood Essence, and I was just kind of rocking those for a while. But yeah, I for the majority of my life, I probably owned 3 to 4 fragrances like a normal person, and then maybe about 2 years ago, um, I started getting really into fragrances because I kind of originally started the interest started with watches, and I was really getting into watches, and I was watching a lot of Teddy Baldessar, if you're familiar with him. He makes some really great watch content, especially kind of marketed toward the younger demographic of newer watch users and people kind of just getting to the watch hobby. And I quickly realized that being a watch enthusiast is really expensive, and I'm not rich enough to uh, maintain that. And the best watches are 10K plus for like a Rolex or something, but the best fragrances are if you're just top of the line or whatever. I mean, there's these Bodacia ones, but let's say Mind Games or whatever, it's 350 at the most. So it was much more affordable for me to get into fragrances. So I kind of transitioned from watches more so back into fragrances, which is something I always enjoyed, but it was just more financially affordable for me, and just developed and really grew to love fragrances more and more, and found different content creators that I really vibed with. And then I kind of found TLTG and the community that he built. And I just, that's kind of what's kept me going, is just this community aspect. And now look, we're doing live streams. I mean, I'm talking to people on the internet about fragrance now. I would never have thought I'd be doing this. So, I just enjoy chatting with you guys. I mean, I've been really blessed. I mean, you guys have sent me decants of stuff. Dan sent me Boychenko the One Luminous Night, which is a fragrance that's impossible to get. That's like $300 if you even want to buy it. So something I'm getting to experience things that I would never have otherwise experienced if it was not for the fine people of the fragrance fraternity. So I'm really just thankful to you guys, and I enjoy sending you guys stuff that you guys can smell and then give me your thoughts, and it gives me enjoyment that you're getting some appreciation out of it and you're getting to experience that. So it's just been fun hanging with you guys, and that's really what's kept me going. I went on a whole rant right there. All right. Just unboxed and sniffed an odd one. Zara Cashmere Musk smells like sweet butter popcorn. It's actually addicting. That sounds really good. That sounds like a gourmand that I've never heard anybody talk about, a popcorn, like a butter popcorn fragrance. That smells good. Apparently Zara has some really good ones. People have been telling me to check those out. I've been really slacking on those. My Zara doesn't have any fragrances, so it's kind of like a area thing, I guess. So I'm about to show some love. I appreciate you, my guy. Hope you're gonna pour yourself a nice beverage, and you probably earned it. You probably have to deal with some people today. Off topic, what song of yours is your favorite? That's a really hard question. What song is my favorite? I love dance music and house music. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I never have like one song that's always my favorite, but I always have a song that I'm really into. And let me show it to you guys. I mean, if this is interesting to anybody, I don't even know. if you guys like this particular style of music. But Vince asked, so I will tell you guys about it. It's called Ready to Go. No, it's not. That's one of the songs. If you guys like want to check out the music that I'm into, you can look at my Spotify. It's called I'm Finked Up, and I make a new playlist every single month of new songs that I find and stuff that I'm into. And I also have a master playlist of all the stuff, but it's mostly dance music. It's mostly stuff that you listen to in the club, and you know that may not be everyone's cup of tea. It is definitely more of a niche music genre. But this is the song that I'm currently really into. It's called "You Ain't Breaking My Heart" by Ridney, Husky, and XIRA. If you guys want, check the song out. I really like the vocal processing that they did on it. The reverb and the kind of delay settings on the vocal are really nice. The song's written really well. It's got some nice strings. It's got a disco vibe, but it's modern as well. And I really like these dance songs that just kind of feel sexy, you know, kind of like the Fragrance thing too. It's got like a, if it makes you feel sexy, or it kind of has sort of that appeal to it without, you know, outside influence, if that's just giving you confidence. I always tell people, you know, if you're going on a date, you want to know a good date fragrance, wear something that gives you confidence and wear something that kind of puts you in a seductive mood naturally. Don't worry about the scent profile. Don't worry about anything. Worry about what it's doing to you and how it's affecting the confidence, I guess, that you're going to put out in the world. That's going to make a lot more of a difference than whatever notes the fragrance has or performance or anything. Jason needs to give away some of his niche fraud, mostly to me. Call him Mr. Virtue. Yeah, I'm still waiting on him to sell me his bottle blue electrique, but I think he's just keeping it so that he can continue to trash it. That's my theory, at least. You know, he's got to have some fragrances that he can say these are overhyped garbage, and I think that's why he's keeping and holding on to it. But I will buy that backup bottle for a good price, right? Because you hate it. It's garbage, right? So you should be able to sell it to me really cheap, right? Anyway, sounds like a great movie night scent, right? You guys are chatting, which is cool. I like that. Makes it so that there's always something to chat about. Latafa Eternal Oud from Burlington. I don't remember which one that one's cloning. I don't quite remember. Let us know, Dan. I've been giving mine. I don't wear to one of my coworkers. Also, stuff that's cheaper, I don't wear. Well, Jay, I mean, we know that you're a man that only lets exquisite perfumes touch his skin, you know. You're like Vince, only the best of the best for you, my guy. So I understand. Trying to live a certain lifestyle over there. I should give my Nautica Voyage away. I've wore it 0 times this summer. Yeah, that I've wore it 0 times as well, and I have it simply for the fact that I have a channel, but I never even talk about it. So yeah, I should probably give mine away too. But that's one fragrance that it's like I just want to have it so that I can like smell it and remember what it smells like, even though I know what it smells like. It's just like one that you want to come back to, just to remember, because everyone's going to keep talking about it. You know, people are going to keep talking about that damn fragrance. Jeremy hyped it to the moon, and it's going to take a while for it to descend back down to earth. We'll be doing a giveaway on Friday night stream. So there you go. Guys want to win some free shit? Sips and Sniffs. It's going to be the place. They're going to be giving stuff away. Don't know what they're giving away. But your boys are not cheap over there. So I know it's going to be good. Wouldn't put it past them to give away some dope stuff. People saying, what up? Dame already told me he has the answers. And my best Kanye voice, I told him, Dame, you ain't got the answers. That was an awful impression. You guys have to forgive me. But so All Genre Bops is basically coming up with our first conspiracy theory here. Jason, care to answer these accusations? I mean, you're actually welcome to come on the live stream and address them that way. If you care to come on, you're welcome. You are definitely welcome to come on and address these accusations, because I will not let All Genre Bops come in here and slander your name without at least allowing you the chance to respond. Jason, I'll be at the live only if the bishop has lost that 4-leaf clover. Well, I want to see those gloves, so the bishop has to come with both gloves and no 4-leaf clover. And then we're going to be able to make it happen. I don't know what. My answer to every question is going to be Vogue Elegante. Yeah, the king of the clones over on Sips and Sniffs. Jason is a real estate agent. Apparently that's what he says. It's never been, I think, confirmed outside of Fragcom. But if you look at his collection and the sense that he wears, yeah, he may be doing some supplemental income on the side. That's all I'm saying. He's making it known right here. I mean, I had my doubts, but he's confirmed it for us now about I knew he had something going on the side, because he's going to be closing 20 hours a day to be keeping up with all those fragrances he's buying. So I'm saying he's not getting cheap stuff, guys. This chat's getting a little wild right now. Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, we're all cool. We're just giving each other shit. There's no real hate here. Don't cancel me, please. Barely even have an audience to begin with, but I do appreciate those here. All right, let's get back on track, shall we? All right, let me tell you about a fragrance that I've been really loving. So this came in a couple days ago. This is Jacques Foth, Tempt de Elton. Joel, how was my French there? So you can get these, I believe, still on Fragrance Net. They're $22. They're going on clearance, which is really mind-blowing. This is a niche fragrance that you can get for like $30, shipping and taxes, everything. And this is a perfect fall time scent. This is sort of like a leaf, like an earthy type leafiness, but covered in sugar. It has a certain sweetness to it. If you've smelled Autumn Vibes from Replica, Maison Margiela, you get a similar earthiness here, but this one is certainly more sugary and sweeter and easier on the nose. That one comes across very woody and earthy, and although you do get some of the woods and earth here too, that sugary kind of coating that is apparent here is really nice. I believe a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of lavender too. Certainly a unisex fragrance. It has a bit of this kind of Coca-Cola-esque pop in the beginning. There's no Coca-Cola note listed, but just the way it wears, it's almost as if it's kind of like a resinous pop in the beginning. It's a really interesting fragrance. I've never smelled anything like it. The short, simple, sweet explanation of this is an autumn leaf covered in sugar. So that sounds appealing. If you enjoy earthy fragrances, I think you're going to really enjoy this one. If you want something interesting and a little bit different to wear from the fall that works in a variety of situations, but is certainly more catered towards fragrance enthusiast and someone looking for something a little bit more nuanced and a little bit like higher class perfumery for seriously under $35. It's crazy to me, but they are on clearance, and the caps are really, really strong magnets, like insanely strong. The strongest magnetic cap I think I've ever tried. So again, this is Tempt de Automne by Jacques Foth. Yeah, that's my very awkward French accent. Probably should never do that again. All right. Anyway, moving on. Second unboxing sniff today. Nasuk Al Mukhtailif Kajal Lamar clone. That's crazy. They cloned that already? Wow. Interesting. I'm glad you're enjoying it. But it's good. Lamar's really good. All right. Paris Corner Magic Oud in Kalimath, Arabian Oud Kalimath Black Clone. Smells like a buttermilk cookie. Damn. You guys are coming through with some fire gourmands today. I like that. I want to see that Versense Giancarlo versus Sebastian, because at this point your collection is out of this world at Giancarlo. I mean, yeah, Giancarlo's got a killer collection. Hit me up, I'll sell it to you. But remember, yesterday's price point ain't today's price point. I mean, I never got a price yesterday, so yesterday's price isn't a thing, man. But just keep saying about how much you hate it and how crappy it is. You know, it'll keep devaluing it. So it sucks. It's the worst fragrance ever. I agree with you. Just I'm doing you a favor by taking it off your hands. Look at it that way. Genuine impressed with all the songs listed for your place. I appreciate that, my man. I put some time into that, and I like to think I have some sort of good taste when it comes to selecting dance music. I've been doing that a lot longer than I've been doing the fragrance thing. Been doing that since I was about 12 or 13 years old that I've been into electronic dance music. It's a big part of who I am and what I'm into other than fragrances, but I appreciate the recognition, my guy. Definitely eating Molly and vibing if he's into that type of music. Yeah, see, I don't do Molly. I'm not really into any sort of drugs, which is crazy. I know every time, when I talk about electronic music, there's like this association of going to a rave and doing drugs. And I understand that that's true for a lot of people, but I genuinely love the music and I always have. And I'm not going to say like I've never tried anything. But I've had the same experience. Anytime I've tried anything that I knew I shouldn't have, it was never really enjoyable. And I kind of always regretted it. So yeah, I really just love the music and I've loved it since I was a little kid. A lot of people like I hear this typical stories like they don't really understand dance music until they take drugs and they go to like a big festival and then all of a sudden they get it. It all makes sense now. Now I see why people are into it. Yeah, that was never the case for me. For me, it was always like I love dance music. I grew up listening to like Euro dance as a kid. I'm first generation American, so I do have like a bit of a European background. I've always loved like four on the floor disco type stuff. I grew up playing guitar. So, and then I started DJing when I was 13. So for me, it was always just really about the music and the atmosphere. And yeah, I mean, I don't do Molly, but to each their own. No judgment. Enjoy your life, and as long as you're not breaking man's laws, God's laws, not hurting anybody, I really don't care. I'm not here to judge anybody. God knows I'm not perfect. Almond suede. That sounds like a good combo. I don't know if I have enough experience with almond fragrances. The only one that I really can think of is Pegasus, but that one is like super vanilla forward, and I liked it off a test strip, and I actually ended up purchasing a bottle and selling it. Wore it a few times, and I liked it, but it was too vanilla forward for me. You guys may know that when vanilla is like the forefront of the fragrance and featured, it's not really my deal. You can start bidding a war between Mike and Bones. Is that Jason's nickname? To run the number up for that blue electric. Oh, Bones maybe. I get it. Bones is someone else that's interested in blue electric. Yeah, I mean, I do have a bottle already, so if someone else wants to experience it, you're welcome to, versus me just hoarding it. But yeah, if Jason wants to hook me up with a good price, we could talk about that. But anyway, yeah, Vince, you're enjoying the samples that you got your way. I'm glad that you're liking those. I know you mentioned you enjoyed gin and tonic. I had in my mind that gin and tonic would really be a fragrance that would suit you pretty well. I know you like the summery fragrances, but that one has a little bit of maturity to it and interesting booziness. Wasn't really for me. I'm not the biggest gin fan. That's like really one of the only alcoholic beverages that I don't dig. I'm more of a tequila guy these days, beer and tequila mainly, but yeah. I wore Crete Centaurus and Delphina samples today. Really like them both. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting my nose on them. I was blessed to win Dedrick's 20K giveaway, the first prize. And I believe it's a sample of Centaurus and Delphina. So looking forward to getting my nose on those. Bones ain't going to buy another bottle. Who's this Bones character? Is that someone's name or it's like a nickname? I don't know. I'm not clued in on it. I see at the bottom of the chat, we have a TLTG sighting in the chat. You know the deal, Ross. If you want to hop on, you're welcome to. No pressure. Just want to make sure it's known. How often do you DJ events? Is it like an every weekend Friday type deal, or do you just take them as they come? Do you have an agent reach out to you? It's a good question. So I usually do about 3 gigs a month. September's pretty busy. I've got some weeks I have 4 a month, and I have a couple places that I'm a regular at. So there's a couple spots in Santa Monica and Venice. If you guys are ever in the area and you want to come by, feel free. Love to have you, that I'm at regularly. So once or twice a week at those places. And then I like to incorporate some private events because I have all the equipment and it's more of like a mobile DJ type thing where I come and I set it up, break it down. And sometimes I even MC the whole night too, especially if it's a wedding or something. I like to incorporate the private events because they do pay a little bit more. Um, I love doing the bar and the club scene a lot, but to be frank, it's oftentimes like half as much money. But I feel like doing both is a good combo of doing some that are a little bit more for the money and also offering kind of more personalized service to somebody who's having a really important day. They want to have somebody that they trust come and take care of that day, and someone they can rely on to take care of the music and the overall energy and helping it run smoothly. And then also having more of like bar club type gigs where I can be more expressive and let my kind of song selection and my taste be on display, and kind of the things that I think are what set me apart as far as DJ and an artist. So it's good to do both. Thanks for asking, my guy. Yeah, I do have a couple. I don't know if I'd call them an agent, but I do have several promoters and or companies that I work with that provide me opportunities. So between the several companies that provide me opportunities, my kind of reoccurring events, and then my own clientele that I get and or repeat business from prior years, or they keep me pretty busy throughout the year, especially during the summer. So thank God. Been DJing for a living for 8 years. Went to school for finance. Didn't really know if I was gonna keep DJing after college. But 8 years later, I've been able to support myself and live in a very, very expensive city, and I have a really good location where I live. So a lot of blessings, a lot of things to be thankful for. And I got this cool little fragrance hobby that I can hang out and talk to you guys with. We can chat and have fun, and it's just another blessing. So it's awesome, man. Yeah, Tempte Autumn is great for fall. Man, it blew me away. It really did. Never smelled anything like it. And I really enjoyed the counterpart of the sweetness coming in to counterbalance the earthiness, because one thing that autumn vibes kind of threw me off, it was just all earthy, all leafy all the way, and it needed that touch of sweetness to bring some balance to it, which this Jacques Foth does. It's really incredible. I got a really great performance. I was wearing it yesterday. A beautiful fall time scent. It's really perfect for fall. Grand Soir interpretation. Okay, that's the Lattafa that you picked up. Okay, cool. Let me know how you think of what you think about it. Grand Soir is obviously arguably the best vanilla amber fragrance ever created, right? Thank Duagon, that Centaurus quick. I'm actually looking for the new Lamar flanker, Lamar Noir. Okay, I didn't know that that was a thing. Interesting. I wonder what that would smell like. I wonder if that one would be a little bit more masculine. The original Lamar was kind of like on the feminine side. I think that rose really pushed it toward the feminine direction, to my nose specifically. And I gave it to my mom. I ended up giving it to her. She really, really loves it. So I'm happy that she's wearing it and enjoying it. Let's see. All right. I'm going to play a little bit of music again, or just turn it up a little bit. I'm going to take a little sip of water, and we'll get back into the chat. Let's see. It's been a little bit over an hour now. We've been flowing. I'll tell you guys about a couple more fragrances. We'll do an hour and a half, I guess. And if anybody wants to come on, feel free. I'll drop you the link. Love to have you on. That way, it doesn't have to be the Michael show the whole time. Can't imagine I'm the most entertaining thing to watch for an hour plus. I'm just trying to do my best here for you guys. Not everyone is as funny and interesting as Gems and Jason in that duality at Sits and Sniffs, So just doing my best here. I'm going to take some water, 2-second break. Let me know if you guys want to hop on, and we'll keep it going. I wish I could know like how loud that is. I feel like I might be just blasting you guys right now. I have to watch on the replay. All right. Cool. Have to wet the beak a little bit. All right, let's bring that back down. All right. So tell you about some more fragrances here. All right, let's talk about this, because this is pretty cool. This is more affordable too. And then if Ross is still here, he'll be able to appreciate this, because he's the reason I found out about this fragrance. So Care Pistachio, guys, super, super good. If you're looking for something fun, something sweet, something that may put you in a good mood, something that will definitely capture people's attention, and pistachio gelato ice cream with a nice vanilla type cakiness going on here. So I was able to acquire the real KLE Yum Gelato Pistachio just to get a side by side comparison. Haven't worn it a bunch, obviously, only sprayed it a couple times. It's a very strong fragrance. Let me tell you guys, I love this cologne. I like the blend on it, and I think I might even like it a little bit more than the KLE. Not quite the same quality, but I'm very happy with this quality. It's very wearable. At no point in time do I think, oh, this is kind of a cheaper smell. I like the mintiness that the cologne provides. I think it's a little bit more unisex. It's a little bit fresher, and it does everything that the real one does, but for me and my lifestyle and in the situations that I would wear this as someone kind of close to the beach, mainly wearing daytime fresher type scents, stuff that isn't super situational, that's fresh and sweet. This Care Pistachio really does everything I need it to. It's got great performance. My brother, who's not super big into fragrances, this fragrance, out of everything I've ever had him try, was the only one that really, he was like, yo, I'm on a full bottle of that right now. And I even offered to give him mine just because I'll give him whatever he wants. We should pretty much share whatever. But he was like, no, you keep that. And I want to get my own bottle, but that is really good. And he's like, it smells to me like a dessert. Like people might not even be sure that it's a fragrance. Someone might think that someone's eating ice cream in the next room or a couple feet away from you or something like that. And yeah, it's quite a realistic gourmand type smell, but a little bit more florals going on in the real one as well, which give it a more kind of feminine lean to it. So Care Pistachio is probably in my like top 3 as far as all the best clones that I've ever tried. You got to be cool with that kind of ice cream type smell, but we're getting in the fall now and it's cooling down, so we can definitely start dabbling more into these kind of fun, sweeter, gourmand leaning fragrances. Anything else noteworthy? Yeah, I'll tell you guys about this one too. Switching directions here, kind of going back into the summer mode. So this is the Sora Oasis Mist. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Ross was having a live decant swap with, it was him and Dedrick and Tazo. And this is one of the fragrances that Dedrick had brought to the table of the decant swap. And both Ross and Tazo were really impressed with it. And they both mentioned that it was the most wearable and something that you could wear to work, but also had some nice interest and nuance to it. And I could just tell off their reaction that they were really digging it. It's a great fragrance for, I guess, versatility, and something that has not been able to come off my rotation table. I got it a couple weeks ago, and I just have not taken it off the rotation table. I just have not wanted to take it off. I've been loving sniffing the cap. Has great performance. It's got a pineapple and apple type freshness. It's kind of like a fruity, fresh fragrance. It is pretty unisex, but it has some intrigue and also uniqueness. But it's still something that you could wear to work every single day. I think for anybody that enjoys a good apple note on the top and a good citrus and pineapple type of fruitiness in the top of a fragrance, drying down into just like a quality, fresh aquatic type deal, you're going to really enjoy Desora Oasis Mist. Don't think anybody's really talked about this. This is a newer brand. No one really knows about them. And I just kind of gambled on it, but I was very, very, very happy with it. It's good quality. It's like $90 from their site. And it's certainly like high tier, upper class quality. And it's a very much a hidden gem. Who knows if it'll get any love in the community. But I'm really thankful to Dedrick that he told me about this one, because this is really a fragrance that you could wear that no one else is going to wear, that you could wear to work, that you could wear during the day, that regular people are going to like, that isn't challenging, and you'll be the only one wearing it, pretty much guaranteed. Like out of anything, guaranteed. Like no one knows what that is. Even people who are into fragrances don't know what that is. So very, very under the radar type of a selection there. And I think for a lot of the people, you guys have pretty similar taste to mine. So no hate, buddy. Just what I think when I hear the music. Yeah. And I don't blame you. And that's why I wasn't necessarily addressing you, just in general. That is a general like kind of consensus when people think about dance music or, stuff that they would hear in a club. They have that association. And I've heard that my whole life. So it wasn't necessarily what you said. I just wanted to kind of address that tie in. But yeah, I really do just love the music and I have loved it, and I will, God willing. I mean, I've devoted my life to making it, and I've devoted my life to pursuing a career in that, and I've, sacrificed kind of a normal social life for that, which I'm totally cool with, because I get a lot of enjoyment when I'm able to play a really good set for people and they're really enjoying it, and I'm able to take them on a musical journey and they're able to experience a pleasure in a DJ set that they were not expecting, maybe from a guy who's just playing at their local pub or their local bar or something. Kind of blows them away and moves them, kind of like a fragrance does. A lot of similarities between fragrance and music, and I think that's one reason why I really enjoy fragrance. It's kind of like you're digging through a lot of good songs to really find the best one as a DJ to play, and those really like hidden gem songs, or maybe you bring back songs that people were familiar with in the 80s but they kind of forgot about it, and you're going to play like a mashup that brings it back to the 2024 era. Same thing with fragrance. It's like you're going to try all these different fragrances to find like some real hidden gems, and that's going to be your fragrance library or your music library, and that's I guess just a way to express yourself. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what you guys are talking about there, but did your last order from Fragrance by ship yet? Do you know what fragrances specifically? Because I don't have any fragrances on the way, and I have acquired everything that I had purchased recently. I don't have anything heading my way, and I hope to keep it that way for as long as I can. We'll see how long we can sustain that discipline. Let's see. All right. Let's see. You guys are talking about something else that I'm not really sure about. Anyway, I tried the sample of Autumn Vibes you sent me. It's very earthy brown leaves type of core. I think it's better as dry down. But yeah, I could have used a little bit of sweetness. And that was one thing that was lacking for me, because I like earthy fragrances. I do. And there are a lot of earthy fragrances that I get down on, but I wish it had that sweetness. And this Jacques Fath, it really does have that kind of sugary vanilla type sweetness that it's layered upon that earthiness that really makes it much better for me. Fragrance Fraternity, do you play COD? I do not play COD. I played COD, I think Modern Warfare 1 when I was a kid, but I'm not the biggest Call of Duty guy. There are other games that I like to play. The thing with Call of Duty that I never really liked was when you spawn, like it's not obvious what side you're on. I was always kind of a bigger Halo guy, and I really liked on Halos, like you would always spawn on your side, on your team's side, so that you would know, okay, the enemy is like in front of you. But in Call of Duty, it's kind of like they can be anywhere. And I know there's like the new mode where you fly in or whatever, you drop in, but people are just too good at that game, I swear. And it just pisses me off whenever I play or try to get back into it. I just end up frustrated and like annoyed. I'm like, why am I playing a game and just it's leaving me on tilt? Like I came for fun and I just leave tilted. So I just stay in my lane now. I've learned I'm just gonna stick in my lane. Let the COD players play COD, and I'll play my other games that I can feel good about myself and enjoy without leaving completely all strung up. Yeah, Pistachio's sick, huh? Yeah, he's doing some awesome house rankings. It's been really fun to watch. I mean, he's always had great content. I mean, he's a legend. What can you say? Sometimes an OG, we just like the twist and the clone makes it a love. Yeah, definitely. I mean, even though they have these sophisticated machines to kind of break down what's in the fragrance, they still need a perfumer to go in and make that fragrance and take those ingredients that they've realized and turn that into a scent. So there's still definitely a person or a conglomerate working to create that certain balance of fragrance oils. So sometimes they can take inspiration and improve upon it. And I think that's kind of what they've done with Care Pistachio. I really, really enjoyed the inspiration. That Mancera's was the favorite one that I've done. Yeah, if you guys need any info on Mancera's, Ross has you covered. He's got a majority of the house, and he's got definitely you covered there. You don't get grape soda from Myself Parfum, because I do get a lot of it. I tried the Le Parfum of Myself and gotta say was not digging it as much as the EDP. but probably need to spend more time with it. The EDP I also didn't like at first, and then it grew on me. So maybe the same situation with the Le Parfum. I think they are pretty redundant. If you have one, you don't really need the other. But at this point, I think you're better off just going with the EDP, especially because you're going to get it now for a discounted price since they have a new fragrance. You know how that works. Come out with a new one, the old one gets a little discounted. Did you get Hawas Black yet? Waiting on your opinion because I love Events Absolute. Let them know. Let them know, chat. Let Gian know about that Hawas Black. More warm, powdery version of myself. Prefer the more fresh version of the EP. I agree with your sentiment there. You don't get grape soda from Dunhill Icon. Man, if you want a good grape soda fragrance, you got to check out Making Sense Grape Ape. It's the best grape soda fragrance that I've ever tried that's probably out there. I mean, I haven't tried them all, but it's spot on grape soda. And when you first spray it on, if you get a little bit of that like medicine vibe, which you can sometimes with grape, don't let that throw you off. Part of that is just the performance of that fragrance. I swear that fragrance, man, I was wearing it for hours and hours, and I came home and I was in a room where my friend was maybe 15 feet away from me, and he could smell it like as if I was standing right next to him. It projects like a straight monster. I don't know what it is about that fragrance, but the projection is insane with that. Very distinct grape soda, Making Sense Grape Ape. They killed it on that one. Vanilla and Orange Blossom, and get a little grape soda association from the Most Wanted Parfum. Interesting. Over time, I realized I was receiving the ginger and bourbon vanilla accords. You live and you learn, my guy. Ordered Seraphim Red sample. Looking forward to it. Like Blue a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I said this yet. I don't think I had told the story yet. But yeah, so yesterday on Ross's live stream, he had George Zaharoff on because they were talking about their George's new release of Seraphim Red, following up the blue version that came out earlier this year. And oftentimes they'll ask a question in the chat and they'll do some giveaways, right? So they asked a question about when was George's first appearance on Ross's stream. And I was so quick to like answer, you know, I was typing like a madman trying to be a winner. And I, instead of 1,000 subscriber giveaway, which was the name of the channel, which was the answer, I said 100 subscriber giveaway. I missed a 0 because I was typing it so fast. And I was totally ready to lose on that technicality. You know, I said 100, the answer was 1,000. But George saw that I simply mistyped it. And I've never spoken to George. I don't really have a relationship with him at all besides just an intermediary through Ross. You know, I watch Ross and Ross is friends with George, but I personally with George don't have any sort of relationship yet. But then he saw that I kind of lost in that technicality or whatever, and he was so kind enough to give me a prize anyway, just like being a nice guy. So that really blew me away. I've heard the talk that he's, you know, great at customer service and that he's a really good dude. But to experience it firsthand like that and have him be like, it's okay, you know, I'm going to hook you up anyway. That was really amazing. And it's not just because, you know, of getting free shit or whatever. To be honest, I don't need another fragrance. It was just the fact that he was considerate enough to know that I may have had some feelings of being a little upset that I didn't type it right or whatever. And he was willing to go the extra mile and give me a prize anyway. So, I mean, he's pretty much made me a fan for life now. Just regardless of what I think of his fragrances, of anything, I've become a fan of George Zaharoff just because his character showed in that moment, and it was so generous of him. And that's just some like a consideration that I don't really see that often. I meet a lot of people in work and life, and for someone to be like super considerate like that was it really blew me away. And he's kind of made me a big fan of George Zaharoff, the man, because that was kind of my first real interaction with him ever. So it was really, really nice of him. So I just wanted to tell him. You skipped me asking for the link, dude. I'm so sorry. It was not intentional. I hope you're still here. Yeah, I'll send you the link right now, dude. I'm sorry if I kept you waiting a long time. Let's see. How the hell do I... Let me invite him. Okay, we got it. You guys are probably rolling your eyes that whole time telling that story. Like, send Ross the link. We don't care about your freaking story, bro. All right, it's in there. Hopefully it didn't keep you waiting too long, my guy. But it's in there now. And then when you're backstage, we'll bring you on. Let's see, where was your thing that you said send me the link? I want to see how far back I missed it. Dude, you know what else is impressive is how fast like Ross is able to simultaneously read the chat and also like interact with the fragrance that he's mentioning and also talk to you guys. Like it's really crazy. It doesn't look that hard, but when you actually try it on a live stream yourself and you're trying to like keep up with what the chat's saying, stay on topic. And then also he's got like trolls, right? So he's got to like pre-screen what he reads. It's like Mr. TLTJ in the building.
And speaking of the devil, I'm literally like making sure the mic's on my watch because I put my phone on mute. Watch starts going off. Take a guess who's texting me from the airport right now.
Is it George?
Yeah, I said Fragrance Eternity live stream. Just put that. Like, fucking stop texting me.
Oh man, you got notifications on for my live streams, bro. That's the love. I appreciate that.
Well, you were on my feed. I turned on YouTube and you were on the main page.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I clicked. I've been here for a little while, talking with everybody else.
I appreciate that, my man. How you doing today? How's life?
You don't have to explain your love for techno. I grew up listening to Josh Wink. My uncle was big time on the rave scene back in the early 90s. So as a little kid, I was listening to Josh Wink. So you don't have to enjoy extracurricular party favors to enjoy trance, techno, house music, stuff like that. Because I still on my playlist, my workout playlist, I got a lot of stuff from the house music from the 90s and stuff. Yeah. So I enjoy that stuff too. Also, knowing him the way I do, I can almost guarantee it's going to be a 2-ounce bottle. It's going to be your gift. I doubt it's going to be a sample. That's just how.
No, it is. It is. I already saw the confirmation. You sent me a 60 ml, which is like crazy.
What, Seraphim Red?
Yeah.
There you go. That's how he rolls, man. He's super generous. People think he gives bottles out to all kinds of people for reviews. No, he don't pay anybody to do reviews. That's why he's not on a bunch of channels. You don't pay me, contrary to troll belief. I have an affiliate link. If you don't buy something through my link, I make $0 from Zaharov.
Yeah.
But point being, the generosity is where it comes in. Stuff like what you just talked about that you got to experience firsthand. That's George Zaharov. That's why the people that support him and everything he does do, because he's such a genuine and generous human. That's just how he rolls.
I totally get it. I totally get it.
And one last thing for you have your rebuttal to that. I saw what you said, Jason. You answered with your telepathy. The prize that you get is the continued friendship that you and I have. My friendship with you, Jason, is the gift that just keeps on giving. Ask your buddy Jim's that I was having a shit talking session with on Kix Griffey's live stream again today. Me and those of you not on IG following Kix Griffey, you should be. Because me and Hidden Gems have been on there like almost every day this week, having some fun BS and trash talking each other. It's been a good time. It's been fun. So my apologies. You were saying, sir.
Dude, you never gotta apologize, my guy. Dude, I'm always just happy to have you here. Did you what's your scent of the day today?
I am wearing the so-called king that I don't believe is the king, Credaventus. From this morning's video, I was like, I need to wear something from this video. And I was like, you know what I haven't worn in a long time? I'm gonna wear this. Already had somebody stop lying to people. It doesn't last more than 4 hours. All right, hide user from channel. I'm not even responding anymore because everybody's thing is I'm too mean to people in the comments. I'm just block you. You say something stupid, I'm not even gonna reply. I'm just block you. Moving forward.
Is that one of the newer batches?
19S11. Very fruity. Lacks a lot of the. It still has a little bit of the birch, but it's more about pineapple, apple, and musk. Are kind of the notes at the forefront on that one. About 7 hours. Longevity, I got called a liar for saying I get 7 hours out of it. It's always fun. It's good stuff. Is it as good as some of these grail batches, they call them, the 2010s and 15s and 13s and 16s? I don't know. I haven't tried any of those. This is one of the only actual batches I've ever smelled. It smells good to me. Not my favorite creed, but I respect that scent because that scent is groundbreaking and it really changed a lot in the perfume market. That's a game changer, that fragrance. It really is.
I mean, certainly you see how many different brands have had their version of Aventus. Even this year with the new Eros, they're still continuing to use that scent DNA.
I
So
wore it last night, Arrows. Shout out to Miss Heather for the decant. I wore that last night.
did you come out with your review of the energy yet, or is that
Yeah. I did a review on it like a week and a
okay?
half ago, something like that. Yeah.
I probably watched it. I just watch your stuff every day, so like I just forget what I've seen and what I haven't. It's just kind of like a routine in the morning. I wake up and I watch your video, so I probably saw it then. Anyway,
So Jason says, "What if I identify as a winner? You can't discriminate. So what are your pronouns? Free and shit? Are you looking for free shit? Is that what that means?" So
oh Jason, when will you learn?
he's just having fun. That's the thing. Anytime Jason or Jim's is around, I know I get to have some shit talking fun because they love to talk shit.
Oh yeah, I mean they're the best at it
I love it.
as far as Fragcom goes. I mean they blew up the internet last week.
It was great.
It
Oh,
was a
it
ripple
spawned
effect.
so many things last. It's still going. Me and Jim's do this almost every day on Instagram.
I mean the blasphemy of Virtus Vanillud that you feel is kind of how I feel about him trashing Blue Electrique. I mean it's really just asinine.
I don't agree with the trashing of it. The overhyping of it, I did agree with though, because I bought it the same way he did, like $59 from Macy's for the 60 ml when they ran that sale. And I do really like it. I don't necessarily think it's better than the original though. No,
I
I
think
feel like the enhanced lavender is nice and it is a little bit richer versus the original, but I don't know, kind of the powderiness is lacking from the original. And I kind of dig that about it. It's really spicy and powdery, and people complain about performance with it because mine's a lighter colored juice. It's a 2018 bottle. It's not the famed like 2010 to 2014 or whatever orange colored juice. But I get good performance. It smells great. The old lady loves how it smells. Nothing for me to complain about, because people that are like, I need mine to last 12 hours. What kind of dates are you going on? If you're using it in the setting intended, what kind of dates are you going on that you need 10 or 12 hours out your fragrance? Even if you're clubbing all night, you don't need 10 hours.
no.
I mean, you on the club scene, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
Even as the person setting up and doing sound checks and being last to leave, are you there for 10 hours?
I mean, even if I am, I don't necessarily need the fragrance to be projecting that whole time.
My point, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Dude, the performance thing I can imagine becomes really annoying, especially with like a channel your size and people just being like, oh, it doesn't last or whatever. I feel like that's just like something you hear every day. And it's just
Yes,
like,
every day.
dude, performance is such a tricky subject because depending on where you sprayed on your body, your just genetics of your nose, how you perceive certain aromas, and then also your climate. I mean, there's more factors even beyond that, but just those things, they're gonna affect the performance of a fragrance and the way you perceive it a lot. So
We're a huge variable. The receptors
absolutely.
in our nose, huge variable. Our actual skin chemistry, huge variable. That's the two biggest ones. The variation in the fragrance is the lowest factor because that same batch, I don't know how many bottles are in that batch. You know how many different skins and noses that one batch of fragrance is going to touch, and everybody's going to have a different experience. Literally, minor. Even if you have let's say you and I have the same things to say about the same batch that we've sprayed. Even then, there's certain things we're not going to perceive that are subtle differences from me to you and from you to me that maybe we don't pick up on because maybe our nose isn't quite as sensitive to pick that kind of stuff up. It's crazy to me how much stock people put into something that's, I don't want to say trivial, but so wildly variable from person to person.
Absolutely. I mean, there's fragrances that you smell, or for at least me, that I smell, and I almost go instantly nose blind to. Like a Cheeky Smile is one for me. I love that fragrance,
That smells
but
great.
if I smell it up close, it's so overloaded with the synthetics that I'm nose blind. And I'm sure that you've also had fragrances that where you thought it was gone, like you were almost sure that it was gone, and then someone gives you a compliment an hour later telling you how strong they smell it.
And it's been
Right?
like, and you're like, I sprayed that at 9 o'clock. It's 6:30.
Right.
You mean tell me I got 9.5 hours out? Yeah, you just can't smell it no more. Your nose desensitized to it. It's a real thing. People, and my favorite thing is when people argue with me about it. I'm not giving you an opinion.
Yeah.
This is things that I have been told by, because none of us are experts, but boy, these perfumers sure are. And this is information I've gotten from perfumers. So
yeah, that was really cool when you had Mike from Day 3 on, and he talked a lot about that, a lot about natural versus synthetics. Really interesting conversation. If you guys haven't checked out, I think Ross has had him on twice, and both times
I think it's the third time I've had him on. Twice this year, I think.
But yeah, guys, if you're interested more into kind of hearing about what a perfumer has to say about performance and blends and kind of the process of making a fragrance, definitely check out Mike from Day 3 and TLTG's collaboration live stream.
Mike's
Definitely
really good, and he works with a lot of really good oils because they get their oils sourced from Mon, same place Claude is contracted through that George's oils come from. They're one of the top flavor houses in the world. They contract some of the top perfumers, your Richard Herpens and Claude Deer and Vincent Kaczynski, like a lot of the top perfumers where you'd be surprised how much of their bodies of work you're familiar with, and you're like, oh damn, they perfume that. Yeah.
Who would you say are your, like, let's say besides Claude Deer, who are your favorite perfumers?
Cecile Zarokian. I call her the queen of perfumery.
And she did these Jacques Fath.
Is amazing. A lot of Jacques Fath stuff, a lot of Amouage in recent years. That's why Amouage has been just phenomenal, the direction they've gone. And that's really my favorite work from her, is a lot of her Amouage offerings have been just stellar. She's just hit after hit after hit. If you see her name attached to a fragrance and you're familiar with her work, it almost makes it an immediate must try for anybody that's familiar with her work and enjoys it. She's so talented.
Yeah, I'm really happy I've been able to get my nose on some of her work. I mean, I haven't really tried Amouage, but from what I've tried from Jacques Fath, she's definitely left a great impression.
Herpen too. Herpen does really good work. Any of you that love Precious Liquid, that's his brand, just like MFK's Francis Kirkjohn's brand. Same thing. And in case you weren't familiar, Richard Herpen, that's who created the famed Oud Wood. So that's probably his most famous creation, I would say, is Tom Ford Oud Wood. He's done so much other work. That's just the crazy popular, cult following fragrance that he perfumed.
Now, does Tom Ford have an association with Precious Liquid as well?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because I heard something that there was an association with that, but I wasn't quite sure. So,
because I don't know if when Richard Herpen perfumed that, I don't believe Tom Ford was owned by Estee Lauder at the time, because I'm not sure if Estee Lauder uses Mon or not. I don't know. I don't know. They might use Givaudan. So I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. Well, let me grab another fragrance here, guys. We can keep the chat rolling. I don't think you've actually tried this one, Ross. This is called Killian's Born to be Unforgettable. Have you tried this one yet?
No, I've seen the bottle. I've never tried it though.
Yeah, this one has kind of been, some people love it. Some people think it's kind of whatever. I don't think it's the most mind-blowing thing you've ever smelled, but if you're into that Coca-Cola type of sparkly, fizzy soda effervescence, this is one that works really well. It's also got a really prominent lime note. So basically Coca-Cola and lime are the two biggest things that you're going to pick up. Perfumed by Alberto Marias. And it's a fragrance that is a lot fresher than something like a Tonka Cola. It doesn't have all that vanilla and ambery warmth. It's not a fall wintertime fragrance. It doesn't have the cherry sweetness at all.
Well, as soon as you said Alberto Marias, that's what I expected. That's the king of the freshie. So
yeah, it's got some semblance of a light blue intense. I mean, it doesn't smell like light blue intense. It's not a citrus forward fragrance, but you could kind of tell that it was the same perfumer that made light blue intense, just in the way that it comes off the skin and just the overall wearing experience. But I thought this one was kind of strange at first, but really quickly after wearing it, I was loving the sillage, and I'm kind of a sucker for that Coca-Cola soda pop type feeling. So I've been really enjoying this one, and this one is actually quite a bit more affordable than some of their other offerings out there. So, and I know Jeff from SoCal Scents, he also likes to give this one some good praise. So I think me and him are like the two guys that really like that fragrance the most out of.
Yeah, I've never tried it. This is the first I actually hear anybody speak on it. Sounds like something I might enjoy.
Definitely. I mean, we can chat, but I'd be happy to shoot you a decant of that if that's something you're interested. We can talk about
Might
that.
take you up on that. Just so I
Yeah,
can check it
please.
out.
And then while you're here, I might as well just rub this in your face since I have you here.
Oh, you did. I knew exactly where you were going. Second you started talking, I knew where you were going with this.
Yeah, I mean, this is too good not to talk about while I have you here.
Yeah, it's so good.
My bottle kind of looks more orangey. I've been seeing Dedrick's videos. I think it's just his lighting, but his bottle looks a little bit more yellow than mine. I don't know.
It's probably his lighting.
Yeah, it's just a lighting thing.
You
But
have
anyway,
a more like a champagne room kind of vibe going with your lighting back there, whereas his is like bright man cave room. You know?
yeah, I'm using just a little cheap LED lamp, but
Yeah, what I'm
it
talking, you
does
got
the
the
job.
purple and red and pink going on. You got the mood lighting behind you. You know,
Trying to do the best I can
somebody's
here
got a lap
with what I'm
dance
working with.
on the couch, kind of lighting.
Well, you got that. You got one little piece of furniture back there that is quite significant. So that's always good.
Yeah,
But well
I got most
deserved.
of my lighting turned off, just a little bit.
Anyway, another fragrance that was on a decant swap. I always end up buying
Same video.
at least one or two fragrances from these damn decant swaps. They're pretty bad for the wallet. So you know,
You
if
beat
you
me
can
to that one.
give us
You
like a
beat
month
me
or
to this
two.
bottle.
Yeah, I'll tell you guys a little bit of the backstory. There was it came in the stock on Fragrance Buy for 135 ish. I think was the price I
Deal,
paid for this. Yeah,
deal.
and it was coming with so it was like a broken box, which I didn't give a shit about, and it also said it had a collar leak or whatever.
So
And
this
I was
was
like,
one bottle available, mind you. So
yeah,
no notify me stuff. He just stumbled across this, is what happened.
I think I did get an email. I
You
think I
did?
did.
You
Yeah,
beat
because I
out
was
Barbie.
already signed up for it. It's important to be signed up for the stuff that you really want. That's one way you can hop on it. And yeah, Ross was pretty interested in this, and I in one way or another kind of stole his bottle from him. So
Yeah, but let's tell them the full story on how I even discovered it was you. So how I knew it came into stock, I was looking at the commissions part of my affiliate page with Fragrance Buy because I like to look and see what people are buying. It show I don't know who's buying what. I see how much you spent, how much commission I made, if you used any discounts because it affects the percentage that I get, and what you ordered.
yeah.
Okay. And I see one of the recent orders was that, and I think you did the package care, right?
Yeah.
So it shows that as a separate item. So I look and I see Sospiro Dolce Melodia, and I saw the price. Pull up a web browser, start going, sold out. I'm like, what the hell? This was like an hour ago. Somebody just bought it. I then go live a little while, literally like 30 minutes later, and I want to say it was I mentioned it, and he's like, "Yeah, I just bought it. Sorry about that. I think that was me." Turns out it was. So thank you for buying it through my affiliate link. I made a couple of bucks off this bottle that he bought, but I would have rather buy the bottle because I like panic. Like, oh shit, they got it in stock. Well, look at that price. I need to go get this. And they didn't have it. Turns out it was that one bottle and he got it. And the reason I know is because he was being a great guy and buying it through my link so I could get a little kickback through it. So he was doing something good by me, but in turn screwed me out the bottle.
It's true. And in my defense, it was not my intention to steal Ross's bottle. It just kind of happened that way.
I'll get another bottle later. I'm glad you got it, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. That was a deal right there. That was a great deal.
This is the craziest fragrance I think I've ever tried, guys. It's really such a masterpiece. Citrus, juicy orange, but it also has like a floral and muskiness woven into it as well. Certainly unisex, maybe slight feminine lean, if anything. But man, the blend is incredible. And this is one fragrance that when I smell this, I actually have the same feeling as when I'm drinking an orange juice. I feel like I'm drinking
I was going
orange
to ask
juice.
you, do you feel like you're wearing
Yes.
orange juice on skin? Yeah. Because
Not even just wearing it, but like I'm actually in the act of consuming a glass of orange juice. That's how
it's got that consistency to it when you smell it. You know, you can smell texture. As weird
Yes.
as that sounds, you can, guys. It's, you know, when you something's velvety, silky smooth, lactonic and creamy, you can pick all these things up. It literally smells like the consistency of like pulp-free orange juice. It's wild.
So Joel, no, it does not smell like Pure XS. Pure XS is a lot more like boozy and vanilla.
It's sugar.
Not, yeah, it's not It's not like pure excess
Yeah,
at all.
pure excess, very sugary.
But back to Dolce Melodia. So it was a leaking collar and a broken box. I didn't care about the box, obviously, and the collar was leaking, but I was able to fix it. So this collar was kind of sideways when I first got it, and I just pressed it down to where it was more even. It clicked back into place, and now it doesn't really leak. And I don't know if this is like a scientifically accurate way to do it, but I know if you flip the bottle around and you can start pressing the atomizer, it can like take some of the air out, which I would think that some got in there.
Yeah, because that's what's going to happen is when you flip it, now that stem is not in the fluid anymore. So when you depress it, you're going to get what's in the stem out the way, and you're going to get rid of some of that air.
Yeah,
So
I think
in
by
turn,
doing
if
that,
it's got pressure in it, you're going to relieve the pressure.
yeah, and
It's
I
still
think
gonna
by doing
replace
that,
the
it's
air,
good.
but if it's pressurized, you'll drop the pressure.
It may not last as long as another fragrance that didn't have this air leak at one point, but I really don't care. I mean, this is such a strong fragrance too, guys. Like, my gosh, one spray is like almost overpowering.
Well, it's going to get a lot stronger a lot sooner than you anticipate, because the downside to having the air leak, is the alcohol is going to evaporate faster than it would have without it. It's still going to take a while, but it will happen sooner. In turn, the fragrance will break down sooner. So you'll think it's getting a lot stronger because it's macerating heavily and losing alcohol. So it's going to seem like it's strengthening when it kind of is, but really it's also going bad slowly at a more rapid pace than it would have if it didn't have the leak.
Yeah, definitely. And I kind of already knew that going into it.
Have that issue.
But I mean, for 135 or whatever, it was like,
I trust me, if
like
I would
that.
have to buy it, I would have bought it. I
Yeah.
was trying to.
We'll both be rocking it on the same day here soon enough, God willing, I'm sure.
It's gonna happen.
Well, I don't know. How much time do you have? Are you going to hang out for a little bit more, or are you going to get going? All right, cool. Well, let's talk about another fragrance then. Okay, so this was another Jacques Fott that I kind of picked up. It kind of went crazy because they were like such a good price.
Cheap.
Yeah, so I was like, I'll blind buy these and try them out. So this is Le Loden. I know this is one that you haven't tried, and just kind of knowing your taste and knowing that vetiver can sometimes be challenging for you. I don't know if you're gonna like this one. This one is a pretty dang earthy vetiver. Like,
I've come around more to vetiver though, because things like Sultan vetiver and even O Intense vetiver I own now, which I would have never owned in the past. It literally scared me off in the past.
Yeah, and I know that one was a bit challenging for you.
Very. And still, the opening's still challenging for me.
I think we kind of smell that one a little bit differently, just because I know for your nose you kind of get this funkiness off of it a lot, and I don't really get that as much. I get a lot of the citrus, and I don't really get the bitter orange that the original Terre d'Hermes is kind of known for, which I didn't really love. I kind of got to come back to it because I think my nose has developed since I tried that originally. But this doesn't have any of that citrus. It is just straight up like earthy vetiver. It's kind of like a slightly fresher version of commodity vetiver, which is the most earthy, like dirt, mossy type vetiver I've ever tried. I've
never tried that one, believe it or not.
I saw it at the rack store, and I was like, you know, there's a fragrance that I'm never going to wear, but I'm going to buy this strictly just as an enthusiast, just strictly because I want to know what this crazy vetiver. I don't know if you guys watch Fragrance Hunter. He doesn't really get talked about, but I don't know if you've talked to him before, but he actually reviewed that fragrance.
When he first started live streaming, I was on like 3 of the first 5 or 6.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a really actually amazing collection of really high-end stuff too. But he talked about commodity vetiver, so I picked it up, and this one definitely reminds me a bit of that, but it's super earthy, super mossy, super damp, like almost like a damp like basement type smell to it a little bit. So not sure if I'm going to keep this one in the collection. May end up reselling it or doing a giveaway with it, because I can't really see myself ever reaching for this one over O Intense vetiver, since I do love that one so much. And I think I prefer vetiver as more of a note in the base, or like a nuance, versus being super earthy and in the forefront.
When done right, I still to this day like the fresher vetivers. Doesn't have to be soapy. It can be a little earthy. I don't mind a little bit of a challenge, but sometimes the funkiness you were talking about, it can come across like roach spray on my skin. And I'm just not a fan of that at all. It's a skin chemistry thing.
Yeah, you may get a bit of that as well. But for anybody in the chat that's a big vetiver fan and you're comfortable with that scent profile and it's something that you enjoy, you're gonna get a huge amount of value from Lelo Dennis. But I mean, the quality on these is insane. It really is, guys. This is niche perfumery for under
Cheap,
35
dude.
bucks.
Cheap.
It's crazy. It doesn't really make sense. And then the other Jacques Foth, kind of gone crazy on this house, Carasso Bay. Sadly, this is not one that was on clearance because this is kind of like the biggest hype monster.
Cares? Get it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So Fragrance Buy is where I got this one. I believe I got it like 65 bucks for the 100, which is a pretty solid price.
Yeah, their prices are good too.
It's got a bit of that sunscreen aquatic vibe, citrus dominant, very nice, and it develops brilliantly. I was walking around in a strip mall hours after I sprayed this, and I was kind of like turning around. I was like, yo, someone smells so good. And I wasn't sure, but I think it was me.
Oh, me.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. It was the first day I was wearing this, so I wasn't really like, I didn't know the profile that well to be able to recognize it just randomly when it caught me like that. But I think it's a little redundant to French Riviera. I think if you own French Riviera, I don't really know if you need both because they're not exactly the same, but they have enough similarities. Yeah. Ross says you need both, so
you need both.
Get both
Both of them.
But yeah, this blue juice is really addicting too, and these caps are like insane.
The caps are elite.
Like, how many bottles are you comfortable doing this with that have a magnetic cap? You know,
there's one that doesn't have a magnetic cap that I'm comfortable doing that with.
Yeah, that one. They snap.
Yeah,
like
they snap hard.
It's kind of like that Aqua Senziale blue, that snap, but even more.
But even stronger, yeah.
Sometimes when I'm taking it off, if I'm wearing an automatic watch, I kind of get nervous. I'm like, I don't want to mess up my watch because it's so in there. I don't want to like jerk it too hard.
So you got to turn it. That's what she said. You got to turn it. When you turn it, you don't have to worry about that. That's the whole thing.
I got to try this.
Because if you pull, it's going to be a bitch. You got to twist it.
Yeah, I got to try it now. All right, so you turn.
Yeah, so literally just twist it and it breaks.
Oh, wow.
That loose.
Okay, yeah, that's way better.
Big difference, right?
A huge difference.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Because what it does is when you start doing that, it because it fits. If you look at the top of the glass with the cap off, you can see where it seats into the cap. Look on the glass, the bottle itself.
Ah, yeah.
So when you start to turn it, it unseats. So it pulls off the collar where it holds up top. Yeah. So it's very specific design. That's an original design George created. He actually made the blueprint to every single part of the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, you'll never see another fragrance with this type of design, and I love the plating.
Well,
and
the plating trademarked and all the stuff's copyrighted and everything. Be legal action if somebody does.
Yeah, I mean, but just overall, his design and what he went with is really cool and different and stands out. And
because he's been asked multiple times about magnetic caps, and he's like, and he same answer. He loves the way his caps are. He'll never change them, and I love him too. For being a non-magnetic cap, it's back to elite. How Jacques Foth's elite tier for the magnetic caps, that's elite tier for the non-magnetic caps, I think.
Yeah, and there's a lot of really expensive brands that don't do magnetic cap. I mean, most of the really expensive brands, it's more of like it's not necessarily snap, but it just kind of grabs the top really snug.
The Dove caps. I do not advise picking those bottles up by the caps. Very seldom does it work out.
Those are magnetic, right?
No. And they don't even hold it. They don't snap into place or nothing. They just slide on and off the collar.
Oh, I cannot stand that.
Yeah. Just like Nishane's bottles. Nishane, don't try to pick a Nishane up from the cap.
You know, my 50 ml of Oolong Cha is actually pretty solid.
I only have like 2 bottles, maybe 50 mLs from them that I could pick up like that.
The day 3 caps are really, really strong. And those slide on. So that's like a good example of one that slides on that's really strong. I saw your Saints kick some ass this past weekend. I was not expecting that.
That don't mean we're that good. It just means the Panthers are that bad.
Yeah,
we got to beat somebody that I think actually could have a winning record before I'm gonna say we're good. I don't see them having a winning record.
You gotta like enjoy these wins when you know it's gonna be a bad season. Like you gotta just cherish every win.
People talking noise about how good Derek Carr is. I'm like, y'all need to settle down. Y'all gonna bite us in the ass with all that Derek Carr's elite talk. No, he's not. Stop it.
Yeah, I was cheering against him because he was on the Raiders. I'm a big Broncos guy, so I was cheering against him for a while there. But I like Derek Carr, the man. I think he's a good like locker
He's
room
good.
presence,
Yeah,
and he understands the game at a very, very high level. Jay Gruden's got a new YouTube channel. He was actually interviewing Derek Carr,
that's
and
fine.
he's like, all right, so for the young quarterbacks out there, what are the things that you're looking at when you come up to the line? He started really basic. He's like, well, I'm going to look at the safeties, I'm going to look at the fronts, I'm going to look at the linebackers, how they're aligned. And then he starts going all into like these deep complex reads and stuff, just completely like, okay, yeah, this guy's obviously an NFL quarterback. He just started speaking a
It's
different language.
basically that the old segment on ESPN, Gruden's little quarterback room, where he would interview the look at film with the up and coming quarterbacks. It's basically he made a YouTube channel out of that.
Yeah, basically. I
I
mean,
haven't
he's a
seen it yet. I
character.
have to watch it.
Yeah, he's a character too, and it's
That's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, that's a good football play right there, man.
yeah. He's a
People hate Jay
personality.
Gruden. Jesus, why am I saying Jay Gruden? That's his brother, John
Right,
Gruden,
yeah.
because the whole controversy thing. But man made a mistake. You know what I mean? And can anybody that hates him look in the mirror and say they haven't fucked up?
Yeah, and was that like from a long time ago or something that
That
they
was from
dug up?
over a decade ago. Those emails,
Yeah,
long,
my
long.
gosh.
Yeah,
I hate when people
he
bring up
screwed
like
up though. He
controversies
screwed up,
for
and he had to own it and take your lumps and all that good stuff. But I
yeah.
mean, the man shouldn't be crucified and never be able to do anything ever again because of it. You know.
Yeah, I totally agreed. I mean, I don't really know enough to make
Well,
an
somebody's
opinion
done
about
getting
it.
his bags checked.
Yeah. I just saw that. I'm gonna post it. Mr. George Zaharoff, with the continued support and love here for the Fragrance Fraternity, uh, continuing to bless me with generosity. So it's really insane, man. I'm really like overwhelmed with how generous you've been to me. Um, George Zaharoff, everybody, continuing to support, continuing to put on display why he is awesome and why people give him praise. Just actions speak louder than words, and he's now done two major things in my life personally that I hope I can show you guys that this guy is a seriously generous, caring, loving dude. And I kind of hope to get him known better because this type of person is very rare in our world, unfortunately. People with such, I guess, just caring for others. I'm blanking on a very simple word, but
I can
you
tell
guys know
you
what I'm
just
talking
taken
about.
back by the gesture. So
Yeah,
shout
I
out to
was.
the kind gesture.
I was not expecting that. I mean, customer service is a lost art kind of these days, and this guy not only values that, but he like went above and beyond.
So you missed out the part of him talking about how blown away he was by how you took care of him last night, George. So we were talking about you earlier. Your ears must have been burning. Let me say something negative about him. We say too many nice things about him.
All right,
Your
go ahead and
shoes
roast
that you're
him.
wearing today are stupid. I haven't even seen them, but I bet they're stupid. And you
What are
could think they're
those?
beautiful. There you go. Let's take that ego down a little bit because I tell him too many nice things all the time. I tell him how great he is. Your shoes are ugly.
We're gassing him up. You need.
Right now, he's calling me an MF and laughing.
Yeah, see, I got Vince, who he kind of like keeps me regulated, and like when I start bragging, he humbles my ass real quick. So it's always good to have like an anchor type guy.
Look, we talk about how great each other are all the time publicly. Boy, we get on the phone, we give each other such a hard time. I love it. Shout outs to my Georgie for being one of a kind.
Ross is he when he busts in your chops, then that's like a term of endearment.
He said, he's wearing, so they are ugly. Yes, he's wearing those Balenciaga tire clogs. They look
Oh
like
my gosh.
tire tread.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like the
I think they're
Balenciaga
terrible.
style.
But you know what? When he gets shoes that I think are terrible, Ross, aren't they beautiful? That's awkward. When he came to my bodybuilding show, he had showed Heidi some. I think it might have been the ones he was wearing. She told me the same thing. She's like, does he ask you stuff like that? I said, yeah. And what do you say? I said, no, they're god awful. She's like, I said the same thing. I thought they were terrible. I said, but hey, he loves them, and that's all that matters. He likes his high fashion.
It's only your friends that are going to tell you the truth, right? Everyone else is going to like kiss your ass, be like, oh yeah, they're real nice.
I love messing with George. George is great. George is great. Have a safe flight, George. I know you're about to board with your embroidered napkins and your filet on board in-flight meal and all that good stuff. You enjoy your flight, sir.
Have a good
He's
flight,
got
George.
many plane changes on his way to Australia. I do not envy him.
Mm,
It sounds like a nightmare. He's got many, I don't mean 2 or 3, many plane changes on this trip. Oh, Jesus.
that's a journey to the other side of the world.
That's the right person to take that trip, though, because this is the thing that is at 4. See, there you go. He's got 4 plane changes. This is his favorite thing in the world. That man loves to travel. He's been to 112 countries now, George. 112, I believe. He's the most well-traveled human I know.
That's awesome. That's
This
on the
is
bucket
his thing.
list.
This is his hobby, his unplug. Even though it's to go handle business, this is his joy. This is his hobby. This is his extracurricular. When he's not working, he likes to travel. That's his thing.
More power to him. I think a lot of us would be doing that if we could put ourselves in that position. And I mean, I'm happy that it's
His
someone.
miles logged are ridiculous. He's been all
Yeah,
over the world multiple times.
I bet he's got just so many cool stories from different places and different things that he's seen in different cultures. I feel like
110. I was off by 2. 110 countries.
he's got stories for days and just all the cool stuff.
He said, "Let's go back to fragrance."
He's like, take the attention off of me for a sec.
Yeah.
I understand. All right. Well, I got some more fragrances over here. I can always keep talking
So
about.
speaking of fragrance, he learned about
ahead.
how to take your caps off. He was trying to just rip them off before.
Yep, that's
He
what I've
learned
been
about
doing.
the twisting of the cap now.
I've been groomed and taught the correct way to uncap a Zaharoff
Mhm.
from the master himself. Oh, you're over here. All right. Anyway, guys, are you looking for Meteor on the cheap? Because Alexander's got you covered, and Meteor is a Louis Vuitton fragrance that doesn't
You wore
really
that
get talked
yesterday,
about
right?
as much. Yeah, I did. I was testing it yesterday. I was kind of wearing Seraphine Blue, but I just sprayed this on my hand or whatever. And I've been wearing it like kind of on and off since I got it a couple days ago. But holy smokes, this is a good blue fragrance, man. The original doesn't get a lot of love just because there's so many good Louis Vuittons. I mean, Imagination, L'Immensity, Pacific Chill, Afternoon Swim. It's like hit after hit after hit. So this one kind of gets swept under the rug. But guys, if you like blue fragrances and you want something with like a citrus juiciness and an oceanic pop that is mass appealing, but is just a great wearing experience. It almost has a cooling effect, not in a minty way, but in a blue shower gel type of lavender way. The way the lavender comes across, it almost has a cooling kind of effect to it.
Refreshing.
Yeah, it is very, very refreshing. And I tried their interpretation of Oceania, and I kind of got a similar feeling as just far as the way that the wateriness combines with the citrus, just the sparkle of it. But for some reason, the Oceania one had kind of like a toilet bowl cleaner type smell a little bit to me. Not the real one, just the clone.
No,
I've never tried the real one.
The real one.
So this one has a similar. It takes all those things that I really liked about the Oceania and makes it more of like gets rid of that toilet bowl cleaner type smell. But
so one you might want to look into if you're looking for Oceania without buying Oceania would be Michael Densmore's one, Triton. He made it because of my love for Oceania. He's like, well, I'm going to take a stab at making my version. So what it is you lose some of the brightness because he cranks up the oil concentration. But as far as nailing the profile, he nailed the profile. It's kind of like his Pradalome inspiration as well. Iris Man smells identical to Pradalome, but you lose the brightness at the top because it's such a heavier wear because it's so much more oil.
Yeah, I have the Iris Man Intense, and I think that one is really excellent as well. Yeah. And I could definitely immediately pick up that Pradalome DNA because, there's Iris fragrances out there, but Pradalome has a specific soapiness, and the Fantasy Iris, the way it's blended, like, oh yeah, that's a DNA of Pradalome, and he captured
the way they mix the Iris they use with the lavender they use, because that's the main thing that makes them like the soapy fragrance kings is the specific lavender that they use for the house. Because you'll notice most of their soapy fragrances, they have lavender, and not all of them have the iris. So honestly, Pradalome and that DNA as a whole, they're more focused around lavender because they're so soapy. And then even ones like the original Pradalome even has neroli in there, which is another kind of soapy floral. So and if you like soapy fragrances, guys, you need a collection of Pradas. More of that story.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the way that the product fragrances wear. They're always a little bit closer to the skin, and they're a little bit, I think they just kind of fit my personality really well. Because most of the time I'm kind of more like low key. I get really extroverted with people that I'm close with and people who I've already kind of vetted. Then I really open up to them. But it's just like a general public type in a public situation type thing. I'm usually more low key. And I think those product fragrances really resemble kind of my personality, so I really like wearing them. If that makes sense,
Makes
people
all the
like
sense.
look into those kinds of things as you get more into this. Thank you for the super chat, Vince. Man, I really appreciate you guys. Vince Sense, great content, super underrated, super underrated.
I need to check his content out. I've seen his name pop up a few times. We were talking in the chat. I've never checked out his content, Vince. I'm gonna go check you out after this.
He mostly does clones, but he's always getting new stuff in, and he always has like a nice background. He gets right to it, no long intro. He's just going to give you exactly what you're there to see. Doesn't waste time. Um, he's
Check him
solid,
out.
man.
Yes.
And let's see, Meteor gives them OG or Zara Chrome vibes. You can hear that? No, I don't really get because you get that metallic freshness with Chrome. I mean, I could see the relation just because they are both blue fragrances. In the air, the closest thing that Meteor was giving me reminders of was actually Sedley. That was the thing that when I was kind of just floating around in the air, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of like Sedley, or at least the wearing experience is a little bit like Sedley. So if I was going to compare it to one blue fragrance, I'd probably make it closest to that. I could see what you're saying with as far as the aquatic freshness of Azara Chrome, but the metallic kind of signature stamp of Azara Chrome is really what makes Chrome, and that's not there. There's nothing metallic in this particular fragrance. It's
Talked
certainly more
about Chrome
citrus
this
and water.
morning. I love Chrome. That's a moment in time for me. Zara Chrome.
Is the EDP still your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
The Intense was for the longest time, and the first time I smelled the EDP, I was like, "It's good," but nah, it's not. It's like fifth. Like I ranked it down there, which is still good, but like can't touch my favorites. Then I started wearing it more. My opinion changed greatly. That's my favorite. The way they did the greens while still maintaining the original's profile, it's the one. If I could only keep one Chrome, it would be Chrome EDP.
And that's one thing I've always really appreciated about Ross, guys, is he's one of the only kind of bigger reviewers that wasn't just completely shitting on blue fragrances. Because
forte.
yeah, a lot of the people I was seeing was like kind of being snobby about blue fragrances, and I was like, I like blue fragrances. Like, what's wrong with them? Like, I'm sorry, I'm not this connoisseur of fragrance, guys, but I just want to smell good, and I just want to know about these fragrances that I'm seeing at my local Ross, see what they're like or whatever.
It's stuff like that that makes the niche snobs and the vintage snobs, because both are snobs, not like me. And it goes from my taste in fragrance to I have the new thing is since I put my earrings back in and got tattoos, now that's the new thing. Snobbery. It comes across for everything, man. Because I look at it this way. Fragrance is a very personal thing. Like what you like. If somebody wants to criticize you for something you enjoy, that's them. It's not your fault. You're just trying to enjoy something you spent your money on that you're putting on your body. Good for them if they want to feel a certain way. Like what you like. That's why I've never shied away from. I can appreciate $1,000 fragrances. I can appreciate certain $10 fragrances. A wearing experience is what matters to me. It's not what it costs. It's not a status thing. It's not like buying a Rolex or a Patek Philippe or an Audemars Piguet to me. It's an aroma. It's an olfactive experience. It's kind of an escape in some ways when you treat it the way all of us here do. It's an escape for a little while, an olfactive journey of sorts, So I've never understood the criticizing of somebody liking a certain profile. That's irrelevant to these. Everybody on the internet, none of us actually see each other and smell what the others are wearing most of the time. Like rarely are you going to meet somebody that you talk to on the internet or that you maybe watch on the internet. So I don't understand the stock put into criticizing someone's taste. I'll never understand that. It doesn't affect anyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. And I'm really thankful that I was able to kind of learn more about fragrances and be educated through you and through your channel and your perspective on it, because I've also tried to carry that perspective of value the wearing experience, not the price tag. Don't let the fact that something costs a lot already in your mind be like, oh, this is a better fragrance just because it costs more. Legitimately,
you have to like it. because you
Right.
spend money.
Or you're only wearing the fragrances that you know you spent the most money on, versus just analyze, do you like the way that you feel when you wear this? That's the only thing that should matter. So I was really thankful that you kind of have that mindset, because I was able to, I mean, learn a lot from you. I mean, you've taught me so much over the last, I don't know how long I've been watching you, like a year and a half or so. So I'm really thankful that you have that perspective. And that's another reason I really vibed with you, is I appreciated that kind of humbleness that comes from that. Because a lot of the time, I think that snobbery is a bit of a flex too. Like, look at the stuff that I have, and oh, you're inferior because you don't have these expensive things that I have, like a social status type thing. And yeah, I mean, you're a humble dude. So I appreciate your mindset on that.
I appreciate the kind words. Look, I don't know everything. I learn something every day. There's this running joke of the 80% volume thing, because I genuinely thought it was the volume of the fragrance. I didn't know it related to the oil concentration. That's some running joke among the troll community right now. Glad y'all are having fun with it, I guess. But I don't know everything, far from know everything. But the things I do learn, I share. You know,
And you're never allowed to make a mistake, right? Like, you do hours and hours of live stream content that no other creators do, putting your recorded thoughts, your initial recorded thoughts for hours on end on the internet, but you're never allowed to misspeak, ever. So it's
I'm
just
thankful
insane.
for it. I'm thankful for it, because you ever heard the term, there's no such thing as bad press? I'm not a bad guy, and I don't do shady shit to people. So attention's monetized in this space. So thank you.
No, man, I mean, I'm not going to gas you up too much here either, but
No, yeah.
you know how much love I got for you, my guy. And
Likewise, my man. That's why I'm here.
yeah,
I don't jump on all the channels. You know what I mean? Only people I really like. So,
and it was really cool also to see your whole journey of you getting like super committed to pursuing the contest, training up to the contest, competing in the contest. And now, like, I feel like it's like opened up a whole new world to you, and you're just in better shape. You've got more energy. I think you're, at least from what I can see, happier now that you're in Florida. You're not in Colorado anymore. You're looking good. I mean, your confidence is up, and I'm just really happy for all the positive changes I've seen in you since I've started watching you, dude. It's like a whole transformation, dude. It's awesome and super inspiring.
Thank you, Mike. Seriously, thank you, man.
Dude, you earned it. You did all the hard work. I'm just over here spectating.
I'm just living, man. God has been good to me. I'm just living. And I'm enjoying it. You know, I wake up every day happy to live my life. It's a blessing.
It's a lot of fun what you built, and it makes my day a lot better. I'm sure for a lot of people out there, we found kind of like a core group of guys and girls that we can really virtually hang out with and talk about fragrance.
We're growing with women in the core too, in the core group.
Yeah, I've seen some more girls coming in.
Saga's been hanging out with us a lot more too. You know, when Daisy gets back on her feet, I'm sure if she has a little spare time, she'll be back as well. Of course, Kara's we got 2 Karas now.
We got a female moderator now.
Yeah, Kara's got a wrench. Oh. Coconut Girl Kara, for those of you unfamiliar.
Coconut Girl, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are kind of at the bottom of the chat. We're over 2 hours now.
2 hours.
I'm not going to keep you guys too much longer. I think this is probably a good point to wrap up. Ross, if you want to just hang out for a second right after I end it.
Cool. Yeah, I'll stay backstage.
And yeah, guys, I appreciate you being here. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Hopefully you got some cool fragrances that you learned about today, or just enjoyed the bullshitting. The random fun that we have over here at the Fragrance Fraternity. Anything while
be a part of the fraternity? Well, do I have to have a pledge?
Oh, well, I gotta haze you first, but I can't put that online, or else I'll get canceled. So it's like closed door type of don't ask, don't tell type situation. But anyway,
I got you.
All right, guys, appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be well, everybody.
Have a good one, guys.